Mason, we just met obviously on the show, but her and her father don't have the best relationship. So having someone that is present in the moment and very caring is really important. So he's wonderful to work with, even though our subject matter isn't easy. He makes it actually really fluid. Well, Callista hasn't seen her father since basically he left, when she was a kid. So it is obviously a mixed emotions kind of experience in the sense that, yes, she has a lot of resentment and anger, and rightfully so. And this is the first time where she's confronted him and felt strong enough and capable enough to handle that situation. But at the same time, I don't think Callista, I think she was a daddy's girl. She always wanted to be loved by her father. She always wanted to connect in that way. So there's that underlying current of why won't you just love me, and why didn't you reach your potential as a father? So there's this a sense of disappointment, not just anger. And that's why it boils down to such an eruption, because it is multi-leveled. It's not just hate. So season 1, at the very end, when Walker and Wolf are fighting, and Wolf and I had the dialogue prior to that fight scene about power and what it meant and what I'm capable of, and we do, both characters share a joint emptiness. I have emptiness inside of me that's from a loss of my childhood and innocence, and so does Wolf, obviously, because he did something horrible when he was a child and lost his innocence in that way. So we bonded, and so when Walker fights Wolf as kind of a really weird daddy figure, gave me all of his strength, and with that comes that darkness. But I think it's really beautiful. I love that exchange. So I do have Wolf's power. Absorbed all of Wolf's. And what are wolves? Who knows? He ate 500 people, and I guess I have all of his powers that are their powers, and what does that mean? And can I access those? And what are the repercussions of when I do? And that's kind of just the journey that Callista's on in season 2 of okay, great. Maybe or maybe not. I can do stuff, but it's not coming from a clean source. So how do you as a young woman filter that? And it's really similar to just being a young woman in general. How do you filter the stimulus that's coming in, and how do you find strength in that and try not to make too many mistakes down the rabbit hole? Retro Girl, I think in season 1 we touched base on that. She wasn't just the mom figure. She wasn't just the placeholder for Callista. She was hope. And even though Callista got disappointed with Retro Girl's behavior, and Retro Girl got mad at me, and there was a little drama there where she wasn't exactly what I wanted her to be, ultimately Retro Girl represents my childhood and my possibility and my I guess my last little spark of innocence. And so when that leaves, it's a catalyst, right? So it happens in real life, you either step up to the plate and you grow up and you hopefully mature, or you don't. Or you kind of fall into this pit of decisions. And so I think it's a little bit of all of that. I think Callista's okay, now what do I do? My last thing that held on to my childhood, that everything was going to be okay, it's going to be fine as long as she's there. Well, now she's gone. That's my security blanket. Now I have to be fine on my own, and I have to make my own security. And how do you do that in a world of chaos? And how do you do that with new knowledge that you might have gained from maybe not the best sources? And how do you make choices when all of the opportunities are available? And Retro Girl was awesome because she was these are your choices, yes and no, yes and no. All of a sudden they're gone, so you're no one's gonna tell me no. So that's where Callista's at. I think she has so many choices and so much opportunity for the first time in her life after Retro Girl's death that she's literally frozen because she doesn't know where to go. Callista's always wanted to be a power and to have abilities because she's always felt small. And when you're a child, you feel small, you feel helpless, and you feel out of control because the situations around you are not in your control. And you're not in charge of outcomes. So Callista didn't necessarily want power because I can fly. She wanted it so no one could hurt her anymore. And so she felt some kind of internal stability power was stability. If I had powers, then no one could hurt me, no one could change me. I could just be still. And so I think there is excitement in that. And of course she's like, you know, if she is a power and having Wolf's powers, yeah, she's incredibly excited, and it's a learning curve, and you're like, I don't know, what can I do? And that's what the journey is for season 2, is what can I do with Wolf's inspiration that he's gifted me. And yeah, it's just kind of, I don't know, it's exciting, but it's terrifying because my source of power is not from a clean place. So I don't know how to channel that. I don't know how to control it. I've been given opportunities that I can't really understand yet. She's much more singular in season 2. In season 1, Callisto was running around trying to find someone to latch on to, someone to help her, some kind of help in general. But in season 2, since she feels more in herself and is discovering things, it's more internal work. And she's still bumping around and meeting everyone from season 1. She still has interactions with Walker, but it's more of just like, kind of like, leave me alone. She basically like broke up with everyone, and now she's like, I'm single, I'm gonna figure it out, I'm gonna do it by myself. And instead of reading a self-help book, she is learning how to control her powers. One mistake at a time. So I think she can manipulate it. And I don't think Callisto necessarily has the best intentions all the time. Much like a real woman and a real young woman. Do you know what I mean? We don't, you try, she's a good human, she's a good person, but she's had enough negative experiences that I don't think she always makes the right choice. And she knows it's not the right choice, but she's in that age where she doesn't really care. That's why I love this show, because it's very intelligent. We have a very intelligent show. And it does touch on celebrity and what does it mean to have a power and what do you do with it. Oh yeah, and even if you have great intentions and yes, you're supporting this charity, it's still kind of in the machine of being publicity, and someone's making money off it because eventually everyone has to make money off it, whether you can support it. So I'm used to that world. So to me, it's kind of more fun just to see it written and kind of play it out. But how do I feel as an actor playing this? I don't know. I think I'm just blessed to have the job. And what I really appreciate about the subject matter of the show is how strong our females are. I pay attention more to that than to the whole celebrity undertone. I pay attention to the empowerment of women on the show, because Brian, Michael Bendis, and everyone has made such a wonderful example that we can be sexy. And yeah, my boobs are pushed up, and I like it. Do you know what I mean? I think for a long time, comic books and just the comic world, right now they're getting a little bit of like, what is it? Like backlash. Oh, the boobs are up, and what is wrong with being sexy and strong and smart and independent? Why can't I be all of those? And that's what the show's so cool about. I'm like, yeah, my outfits are awesome. Callisto's really sexy season 2. I like it. She should be sexy. She likes herself. She's positive, and she's using that sexuality in a way that makes her happy. It's not harming anyone. It's not for anybody else to like decipher. Do you know what I mean? She's a whole person. I like that. We're not going to be in the fully clothed outfit, really smart. No, I can be really smart and still push a bra and do whatever I need to, and it's great. I love it. And all of our female characters are much stronger than the male characters in our show. I don't know if you guys have noticed that, but we are, which is awesome, which never happens. And we're so multidimensional and dynamic, and that's why I love Callisto so much. She has issues. She's not perfect. She messes up all the time. And then she has moments of really being great at the same time, and it's real. Like, all of us have daddy issues. I don't care what kind of house you grew up in. All of us have mommy issues and childhood issues, and we get to play on that. And that's what I kind of focus on. The Hollywood thing's kind of boring for me. I'm just like, whatever. So cool. So other than me just being a little girl and having a blast, like, learning how to do stunts. But for Callisto personally, it's such a beautiful journey. She, wakes up and discovers that she has powers, and how do you control them, and what can I do? Can I punch a rock? If I punch the rock, does it explode or does it not do anything? And that's been a wonderful journey with her, because I'm making that up with Brian and everyone. I'm like, can I lift a car? They're like, well, yes. I'm like, all right. I'm like, am I bulletproof? And they're like, because Wolf ate so many people So now we have to kind of backtrack and be like, what did all those people do? And what can I do? And which of my strengths are stronger? And so every day is definitely a learning experience. I'm learning on camera, which is kind of funny. Because normally you would have like months in a movie set to learn. I have like a day. I'm like, okay, I trained for 2 hours yesterday. Let's do this. So thankfully, my ballet experience and like dance background has been really helping. At first, not so well. Not because he's not excited for me and is happy for me, but he's kind of my big brother influence, and he's scared for me because he's been down that road. It's like anytime you have a loved one that's going down the same experiences that you've had, and maybe you had a negative experience with it, and you're like, please don't do it, you know. So he's more protective than anything, but I think there is a part of him that's incredibly excited for me. I think once Retro Girl was murdered, and is lacking this. She doesn't get that satisfactory feeling after she confronts her father. She thought this entire time, my powers, I'm gonna find my dad, I'm gonna be like, rah, and then I'm gonna feel whole, and that big void's gonna be gone, and it doesn't do anything. Which happens in real life, right? We have our vengeance plan, and you get there and you're like, I feel different. So then she realizes that the main happiness and strength of basically the planet's gone, and I don't know if she thinks she can fill those shoes. She doesn't, but she's gonna try. So I think it's just being a little naive, slightly courageous, and more just like, oh shit, and, here I am. Like what is she doing to get in there? She just did it, like a young person kind of tends to do. You're just like, I'm here. I moved to Europe. That's how Callista is. Like, I am now wearing this outfit. And then she goes, oh crap. Oh wow. There's a lot more to it than just putting on the outfit. I can't believe I have this job. Like, literally, I wake up in the morning, like, what do I do for a living? Okay. I gotta run around and pretend to be a superpower. It's like, what? Okay. So Halloween, I was like, pfft. Like, usually I'm so excited about Halloween, but because I'm here, I'm like, oh no. This is like, no guys. Everyone's in a costume here. It's great. Everybody's flying, there's like things being blown up, it's pretty amazing. I'm really excited to be in this job, and not only that, but like usually on TV you get a character but they don't have such a crazy arc, and I have an incredible arc, and so as an actress you're just like, oh wow, I get to do all of this in just one season. It's amazing. I'm really excited, but everyone's keeping us on lockdown, so I'm just taking a lot of behind the scenes pictures and keeping my mouth shut.